You've tuned into Unpause Your Life with Dr. Callie Estes. Your access to success strategies and more to help you move onward and upward with your life. Listen in each week as she interviews others who have really taken their essence to the next level and truly unpaused their life. Now here's your host, Dr. Callie Estes.
Hey everyone, welcome to the show. This is Dr. Callie Estes, and I am founder of the Addictions Academy, the Addictions Coach, and Rehab Rescue. Welcome to Unpause Your Life. This is a great podcast where we showcase people who have done something extraordinary with their life. I welcome you, and I hope you enjoy all of our guests.
On my way, found a reason to wake up another day.
Before we get started, let's hear this short message from one of my supporters.
All the things that you won't do.
Did you know 81% of Americans would like to become a published author? Chances are you might be one of them. What's stopping you? Writing and publishing a book takes a lot of work and is expensive, right? Well, not anymore. For your next book project, or even your first, team up with Hassle-Free Books. They make it so easy to become an author. They remove all of the fuss and struggle and make it smooth and simple. And it's far more affordable than you could ever imagine. Go to hasslefreebooks.com and use promo code UNPAUSE to receive a 10% discount off of any book project. Get started right away and become a published author in as little as 45 days. For your free 1-hour book formula guide, which will show you just how painless it can be to become an author, head to hasslefreebooks.com today.
All right. Thanks again for joining me. Let's get started with today's show.
Took a walk down the dark road where they said that I shouldn't go. I knew the dangers of life.
Welcome to Unpause Your Life with Dr. Callie Estes of the Addictions Coach and the Addictions Academy. My guest today is Jean Krisle. She's the CEO and founder of 10,000 Beds, which is a nonprofit corporation with the mission of awarding 10,000 scholarships for addiction treatment by 2025. Jean's multifaceted career in the nonprofit world has taken her to audiences and clients around the world. Known for her candor, resiliency, and leadership, an in-demand speaker, Jean is the CEO and founder of 3 companies, each with a mission of recovery, from addiction, from failure, and from challenges. The grateful mother of a son in long-term recovery, Jean learned during those terrifying years of her son's active addiction just how confusing the treatment world can be and how unprepared she was to handle it. She knew others were probably as overwhelmed as she was, and she started a consulting business to provide support to families. As she would speak with the individuals with no resources and then later in the day visit treatment centers with empty beds, it became clear that this equation needed a solution. From that experience, 10,000 Beds was born. Welcome, Jean. How are you today?
I'm great. Thank you, Callie, for having me on your podcast. I'm thrilled to be here.
Awesome. I'm thrilled to have you. So you are in Utah, you said. Is it cold?
Today it is cold. It's not like freezing cold, but I had to put on a coat today. But it's been lovely up until now. We've had a beautiful Indian summer.
So you are just traveling around with the RV that's got a really cool logo on it and just camping and stopping wherever you please, correct?
Correct. We have become the KOA experts. Little did we know that would happen, but we know the KOA campgrounds between here and Florida pretty well.
Good, because I'm going to be asking you. We have an RV too as a tour bus, which we seem to be using more as a living space than a tour bus these days. So I'll be coming to you for advice.
Great. That's great. And I've seen your bus. It's beautiful.
Oh, thank you. So tell me about 10,000 Beds. Tell me, I read how you got involved in it and what you wanted to do in your vision. How is it going? Are you encountering any resistance? Are you encountering people that are excited? What's been your reaction with the general population?
Overwhelming. It has been overwhelming in every way possible. When we started out, I chose the name 10,000 Beds with the goal of awarding 10,000 scholarships by 2020. And it seemed like a pretty lofty goal, but we're going to be pretty close to that if we don't make that goal. The response from the addiction treatment industry has been phenomenal. And I credit that to the fact that I would say the majority of people who are working in this industry are there because they care and they understand the battle that is ahead of people who are heading into recovery, and they want to help. So when I asked someone in the addiction treatment industry who owns a addiction treatment program or facility, would you be interested in donating one scholarship per year to 10,000 beds? They always say yes. They're amazing, amazing people. So that's been extremely gratifying and helps us with our mission to place as many people as we can who have no resources into treatment. But as far as the general population goes, we did not expect the reaction that we're having. We literally can be driving down the freeway and we will see a car kind of slow down to read what's on the side of our van. And our RV is wrapped in our logo, but it also talks about the fact that it's addiction and treatment and recovery. And they're reading it, but then they speed up so that they can get to the side of our truck, and either on my side or Hal's side, whichever side they happen to be on, they make sure they get eye contact with us very quickly and do a thumbs up. I cannot tell you how many times that's happened. Hundreds of times, and our favorite was the first time it happened, and it was a Nevada highway patrolman, and he came by and gave us a thumbs up.
Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah, it's been pretty awesome.
Now, do people get confused at 10,000 beds? Are they thinking you're donating mattresses to the homeless? Or are they questioning?
Yes. Yeah, we get emails from wonderful nonprofits who say, hey, I just found out about your organization and we have all these extra beds. We've had people when we've been in the KOA RV parks come up to us and say, do you really carry beds around in that? And so, instead of being worried about that, it's actually a great conversation starter. My favorite was, again, in Nevada, and I was pumping gas, and somebody came up to me and said, 10,000 beds. He says, what do you do? And I said, well, I'm one of the most successful madams in the state. And that started a great conversation because he kind of gave me I'm a 63-year-old grandma saying that I'm a madam. So, that made him laugh. And so we got to have a great conversation. But, Callie, the most exciting thing has been, and literally in every place that we've parked on this 21,000 mile journey, someone has come up to us who is either in recovery or needs help. And we've had our door knocked on, at 1 a.m. by somebody who just happened to walk by and they need help and they're desperate. And of course we answer the door and talk to them. That's more rare than the person that comes up and just wants to talk. Well, how's that outside working on something, or we're outside barbecuing or whatever it might be. It's been pretty amazing.
Wow, that's fantastic. So this is all you do. You drive around, you spread awareness, you help people get treatment, correct?
Correct. That's all we do. And we're invited quite often to events all over the country. People we call the Big RV Big Blue. They love to have Big Blue at their events, and we love to be there. But we can't be everywhere. Obviously, if we're in Idaho and somebody in Florida wants us to be there the next day, that's not going to happen. But we're trying to plan 2018 ahead so that we can be at as many events as possible. And when we're at these events, the RVs there, it's like a rolling billboard basically for addiction and recovery. And then they always invite me to speak, and I'm thrilled to share my story. And that's been an interesting process because I'm usually in a lineup with people who are either in recovery and, have 10 or 20 years under their belt, and they've spent a portion of their life incarcerated because of drug-related offenses. And they have this amazing story to tell about how they found their way into recovery. And then the other speakers are often moms who have lost a child or lost a loved one, and they are there just to tell their story and raise awareness as well. And then I come and I open my comments with, I know that I'm one of the lucky ones. I have my son still. I'm not in mourning. 10,000 beds comes from a place of gratitude. We are so grateful that our son chose to call for help when he did, that he has gone through months and months of support. He continues to go through different processes and attend meetings so that he can maintain his sobriety. And he's moved forward with his life. He celebrated 3 years clean and sober in October this month.
Wow, that's
so Yeah, we're really excited. So I come from a little different place than some of the other people that are speaking, and it's nice to have that variety. But again, I know I'm one of the lucky ones, and we're just grateful that we're here to do this and have the ability to do this, and that our son is thriving.
That's fantastic. Now, I know one of the questions our listeners that they're going to ask is, how do you decide who gets that scholarship bed? So you have a treatment center that donates a bed, and I'm sure you have way more applications than you have beds. How do you pick and choose how that person gets treatment or who gets treatment? How does that work?
Yeah, of course it's hard. Let me just start out with, we have over 200 partners nationwide, and we call them our extraordinary treatment partners because these programs have donated at least one scholarship a year for us, and most of them say we're committing to one, but please call us if you know that you have a client that's a good fit for our program that needs a scholarship, and if we have a scholarship bed, we're more than happy to look at it, which is why I love this industry. We actually have a partner in Utah who gives us 4 beds a month, and that's incredible. So yeah, so we have this amazing resource of treatment programs. Our online application, which is the only way to apply for a 10,000 bed scholarship, is over 30 questions. It's very in-depth. Like, we worked with a clinician and an admissions department to put together our questions, and we had some of our own that we added in there. And we feel like that's the very first level of screening to determine who is qualified for a 10,000 bed scholarship. Because if someone who is wanting help is not willing to sit down and complete a 30 question application, my personal opinion is they may not be quite ready for the kind of treatment that we're providing. This is free. I consider every scholarship just, a gift and very valuable. So we're very careful. So that first layer of screening is just them completing the application. The second layer is we're looking for people who have no resources. Our ideal client is someone who has been probably couch surfing for months, and that's following their family having put them through treatment one or multiple times. And family has finally said, we're done. We cannot spend another penny on this. You keep relapsing. We don't get it. We don't understand it, but we're broke. We mortgaged our home and we can't put another dime into this. You're on your own. So friends have helped, and friends have let them, couch surf and live in their apartments and eat their food. And now friends are kind of getting over that, and they're tired of seeing their loose change missing and whatever else might be missing from the apartment. One of the ways I sadly sum this up is even mom isn't talking to our clients because they hocked mom's wedding ring at some point. That's the client that we're looking for, someone who really has burned their bridges, but finally has realized that they need help and they need it now. And if they can't get help, they're going to die. But they've burned every bridge. So where do they go? Well, there are lots of resources out there, amazing resources out there. And 10,000 beds is one of them. So that's what we're looking for. So if they have insurance, or if they have family financial support, or if they have a job, they really aren't a 10,000 beds candidate. Those clients have other resources, and we're happy to provide information to them about where they might look in their area for help, but that's not who our target client is. So once we've kind of gone through all of that, made sure, and we make our phone call and then what we call a preclinical assessment, because we're not clinicians, we're not licensed counselors, and we don't claim to be. We're just a mom and dad that are grateful and helpful and hoping that we can help others. After we've done that, then we have this list. So we reviewed the application. We've decided this person is qualified. Now we have this amazing list of scholarships that are available to us from these treatment centers throughout the U.S. We don't just stop at the start at the top of the list of treatment centers and randomly match them. We have already spoken to our client. We know what their needs are, and we try to match them to a program that will match their needs the best. And clients are taken in the order their application is received. We're not a 24/7 treatment center or treatment assistance program, and we're not an emergency hotline. So it's really important that our clients check in with us every Monday. It can take a couple weeks to place them. It can take a couple months sometimes if they have some extenuating circumstances. We have placed people that were incarcerated and needed to wait for court, and we had to provide letters for the court, and then the court chose to release them to our treatment scholarship. There are lots of ways this can pan out, but I think having given you that overview, the simplest way is in the order that we receive the application, They have to continue checking in. Those are two priorities. Every Monday, they have to send us an email and let us know that they're still looking for help, because we do encourage them to continue looking elsewhere, that we're not the only answer. And then on the treatment side, we find a program that's the best match for the client.
Wow. So this really is involved. It's not just call us. We'll set you up with a free bed. You'll be in today at 2:00 in the afternoon. There's actually a process to get in for free treatment, scholarship bedding, to show that A, you need a free bed, and B, you're willing to work for it. And that's really interesting, because so many times, I'm just going to start here. People are very ungrateful for the time that a lot of us professionals provide getting somebody a free bed. And they go, they last their day, they leave, et cetera, because they have no skin in the game. You're requiring them to put their recovery first, and you're requiring them to show this is what they want to do. Not just, here I am, help me, I'm in crisis, which is excellent, because on the backside of things, we're always struggling to find that bed, and the person does no work and literally gets there. And this just happened to me last week. They got there, they were there for literally 2 hours and walked out and said, I don't want to be here. After 8 of us correlated getting this person a bed. And it was frustrating. It was like, well, it's a free bed. Where's your gratitude? Where's your investment in recovery? And now the mom is calling us again, looking for another scholarship bed. And now all 8 of us are like, why bother? He's going to show up and leave. So I really like that there's a process to it. It's not just here's free, because there's no value in free. You have to actually put some time and effort, energy in, and then you find them the right match. That's even more important. So I think that's fantastic.
Thank you. And that's exactly right. Like I said earlier, we really consider these scholarships valuable. And so we don't give them away lightly. One of the things that adds to our process is, once we have identified that we have a client that is a good match for a program, we now call that program. Well, I'm just going to call somebody randomly, an ABC Treatment Center. So we would call ABC Treatment Center and we would say, hey, we have a client that we think is a great match for your program. You had pledged a scholarship. Do you have a scholarship bed available? And they're either going to say yes or no. If they say no, we say, well, thank you so much. We'll call you the next time. If they say yes, then we say, hey, we've got a packet of information that we would like to email you. We have permission from the client to share this information, and we would like to email this to you. And then we want you to reach out to them, because we want the treatment center now to do their own clinical evaluation. Because the bottom line is, again, we are 2 parents who are grateful and know enough about the industry that we can speak to things pretty well, but we are not clinicians, and we are not an admissions department. So we want them to do that on their own. And then I've had one time when they said, you know what, we just found out about a medical issue which had not been disclosed to us, and that won't match our program. Well, obviously that was fine. But the rest of the time, we do a pretty good job matching them up. So once the clinical assessment is done over the phone, we fly that client to the treatment center. We pay for their airfare, and we also cover their meds. Often, some of our clients have medical issues that require prescription meds, and so we will cover up to $300 of that. So our expense per client runs about $1,000, and we're able to place, them in a $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, $50,000 treatment program for free. So that's pretty amazing. The other thing I wanted to tell you is, in the 3 years we've been doing this, we've only had 2 clients walk away. Only
Wow.
2, which is amazing. And I think that speaks to the thoroughness of our process. And one of them walked out of a treatment center. Obviously, he was just looking for an excuse, because the excuse he gave them was the wallpaper is peeling on my ceiling and the paint is peeling. And I really am not, this is not the kind of place I want to be at. Well, a week later, he called and wanted another scholarship. And I, like you, in your experience, I'm not eager to give a second scholarship when someone's walked away. And I said, you know what, I can't give you one, but I will encourage you to reach back to that treatment center and talk to them and tell them that you made a mistake and see what they'll do. Now, I was talking to the treatment center on the side and let them know that he had called me and was interested in coming back, but it was their decision, and they did readmit him. So, that's the way it works here. I've also flown out to treatment centers where I had a client that was just not behaving and really was not appreciative at all. And I had to have a sit down with, this was a female client, and I had to sit down with her and say, look, this is a valuable scholarship, and I am grateful that you're here, and I'm thrilled that we can help you. But if you're not going to take it seriously, I have a waiting list of people that will be happy for me to fly them in today, and I will fly you home. So you need to let me know what you're going to do. So we go the extra mile to make sure our clients are paying attention.
That's awesome, because coming from a clinician, I've been doing this 21 years, and coming from the clinician side, it's frustrating because we get the calls from the parents that have no money, no resources, or the insurance. For example, I just placed a kid on a scholarship that had Kaiser, and I did the evaluation. It's a psych eval, and he's high psych. And I said, we need an inpatient, dual diagnosed high psych. And I called Kaiser, and Kaiser said, he doesn't need inpatient. And I said, yes, he does. He's suicidal. And we did a, Baker Act and a 5150 and blah, blah, blah. And I couldn't believe I couldn't get him in inpatient. And they said, we'll give him outpatient. I said, he's not going to last. This kid's suicidal. So long story short, we got him a scholarship bed. And he gets there, and he calls and he says, I'm not staying here. There's mold in the bathroom. And I said to him, listen, I do business with this company, with this particular center all the time. There's no mold in the bathroom. And he had packed his stuff and left, called Dad. Dad paid for his airfare, sent him home. And then Dad called me and said, well, we got to start all over again. And I said, we are not going to start all over. You are going to start all over on your own, because, I did a lot of work to get him there, and he's not ready. He's not ready. If he's more concerned about mold, it wasn't mold. It was the discoloring of the tub. But he's more concerned about that than recovery. And you're more concerned about his happiness. There's a problem, because he needs to get recovery. So I think there's a lot of people out there who want help and want free help, but aren't willing to do that back end work. And then when they get it, they just walk away and they expect us to, reproduce. So I think it's awesome that you guys have that. And I'm going to start sending people your way to go through that process instead of doing this on my own, because it's so frustrating to get that far down the road and help somebody to find, I'm just not happy with the paint peeling on the ceiling.
Yeah, exactly. And, the opposite side of this story is, of course, those clients that we have placed who are so grateful and are still in recovery, who text me on a regular basis and Facebook friend me and stay in touch with me. We just received a written letter last week from a gentleman we had placed in California, and it was 3 pages, a handwritten 3-page thank you note, just telling us where he is, what he's doing, what his plans are, how grateful he is. And that's the piece that makes you go, okay, it's still up to them. It's still on their shoulders. Every single day is a fight for them, and they have to go through the steps and attend their meetings and whatever their process is. They clean and sober. We cannot control that, but we've given them that opportunity. And for a long time on our website, it said we save lives. And months ago, I took that off, because we don't. We provide the opportunity for these clients of ours, these amazing people who have such strength to overcome addiction. We provide them the opportunity to do that. And it's on their shoulders. They're saving their own life.
You're right. And that's so important. They have to have skin in the game. And there's so many people that just, it's just like, I don't know, it's frustrating from my point of view, because we work so hard to get what they need. And then it's just, some things just fall by the wayside because the effort just isn't there, or they're not ready. And it's just, you're doing such a great service to everyone. I want to let you know how much I appreciate you, and how much, other clinicians appreciate you, because we couldn't do it without you.
Thank you, Callie. The one thing that frustrates me is when we have to put a hold on our applications, and there's one on right now. It's going to be on for a couple more days. We had 108 applications in the first 2 weeks of October. And you can imagine, we have 200 partners, so 108 applications. So we had to put a hold on applications. We've been able to place most of the qualifying applicants, because out of 108, probably half of them are actually going to qualify. Some of them have insurance, some of them have cash, some of them, just don't qualify because of some other reason. But the other half, we will have all taken care of. And then we will start taking applications again. But that's frustrating for us, because we hate to have to put a hold on anybody. But that's the reality right now. With over 20 million people in the U.S., dealing with addiction, and, over 20,000 treatment programs, and we have 200 partners. I mean, you just do it. It's a numbers game. There's no way we can keep up, but we're doing everything that we can, and we'll do as many as we can.
That's awesome. So how do people reach you? They want to fill out an application or, more importantly, donate a bed. And I have some people I'm going to put you in contact with that will probably donate a bed for you as well. Detox all the way down to sober living. So how do they find you?
That would be amazing. 10,000beds.org is our website. That's 10000beds, BEDS.org. And right at the top, it says scholarships. And you can either pledge a scholarship or you can apply for a scholarship. We do ask our partners to just fill out a little form, and it's so that we have the information we need when we're trying to match a client to a program. We know exactly what the strengths of that program are so that we can send the right kind of client to them.
Awesome. And we're going to put all those links up for you so people can donate, get in touch with you. I know you do some sponsorships of logos and things like that. That way, if they have anything that they want to give you or assist you with, and again, also to fill out the applications and see if they're appropriate for the program.
That's great. We appreciate that. And yes, donations are always welcome. I think it's important. We have raised less than $100,000 this year, and we have placed $2.5 million in scholarships.
Wow.
Our goal for next year. Yeah, that's pretty amazing. Fantastic. I'm pretty proud of that. Thank you. Next year, our goal is $5 million, and we'll reach it. I have no doubt we're going to reach it. But we operate on a lean budget, and every cent pretty much goes to the client. I don't take a salary. We're both my husband and I are volunteer. We have approval from our board to take a salary, but we just haven't yet. It's hard to take a check when you know that you could save, 10 people's life. You could give them the opportunity to save their own lives. So that's what we do.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on, and we'll put everything up for you, and hopefully you'll get some more people interested in helping.
I appreciate it, and I think you're wonderful. You're doing great work out there. Thank you so much, Callie.
Thank you, and you've been listening to Unpause Your Life with Dr. Callie Estes. Hey, everyone. Thanks again for listening. I really hope you enjoyed the show today. Head on over to iTunes and Apple Podcasts and leave a comment or review of what you think, or contact us at 1-800-706-0318. If you want to be on our show, feel free to email or call. And if you have a topic, feel free to email or call as well.
Thanks for listening to Unpause Your Life. For show notes and more, head on over to unpauseyourlife.com.
Big shout out to recoveryinnovators.com for help producing this show. Thank you, guys.
Took a walk down the long road where they said that I shouldn't go. On my way found a reason to wake up another day. But they needed to show you all the things that you won't do. Find faith or religion, but nothing to show for it. No need to escape in love with my pain. I may be weak, but I'm alive, still alive, and I won't be bound by your mistake. No, I won't be your enemy, trapped at the gate. Bring me to life, put me to death. Just give me something that's just not so hard to believe. To believe. To believe. I took a walk down the dark road where they said that I shouldn't go. I knew the dangers of flying. Now I'm so far from